Today I would like to talk to you about Microsoft Excel. Excel is a remarkably powerful program packed with features, most of which you'll never need. So I'd like to show you some of the common ones that I use every day. I've been using Excel for over 20 years. Let's start by looking at the interface. An Excel document is called a workbook. Each workbook is made up of sheets. You can have as many sheets as your computer's memory will allow. Each sheet is made up of 16,384 columns and 1,048,576 rows. And no, I didn't count them myself. It is safe to say that you will never run out. The columns are labeled using letters and the rows use numbers. Where they intersect, we have cells. Each cell has a unique address made up of the column letter and the row number. If you've ever played Battleships, then the concept should be familiar to you. If you click on a cell, the address is displayed in the name box. On the top of the screen, we have the title bar, and below that, we have the menu bar, which allows us to select the various ribbons. The ribbons contain the frequently used commands, and you should recognize the buttons if you are familiar with Microsoft Word or any of the other Office products. I'm going to remain on the Home ribbon for now, and we'll explore the other ribbons as we cover formulas, charts, pivot tables, and working with data. Let's begin by talking about formatting. Formatting enhances the overall look of the spreadsheet and makes the data more readable. It can highlight relevant cells and make them stand out. There's nothing worse than having to search for a total that you're looking for through a huge spreadsheet. Formatting dates and currencies gives more detail to your data and prevents mistakes and confusion and misinterpretation. Now let's create a table. I'm going to start by typing January in cell B1. And let's add Department 1 into cell A2. If I click on cell B1, you'll notice in the bottom right hand corner there's a little tiny square. If I move my cursor over the square, you can see the cursor changes shape and it changes to a cross. If I click my left mouse button, hold it down and drag it, you can see that Excel auto-completes my list. Because it saw January, it recognized the next thing on the list should be February. I can do the same thing with Department 1. There we go. And now, with the benefit of modern editing, I'm going to add some data for you quickly. And I'm back. Alright, one of the benefits of Excel is its calculations. Let's basically add our departments and our months together. So I'm going to create a total button here. Let's type in total. Right. I'm going to highlight my data, leaving a bit of space for my totals to go, and I'm simply going to click on the Auto Sum button. There we go. You can see that Excel has basically totaled my rows and all my columns and given me a grand total in the corner here. In my new table, the totals aren't particularly clear. You'd have to search around to try and find your data. So let's try and format it. I'm going to show you the basic formatting tips. Firstly, I'd like to highlight my months. Okay, I'm going to say I'd like to change the background color of my months. I can choose any color I like. We're going to go with blue. Of course, with blue now my text doesn't stand out, so let's change my text color. I'm going to make that white. I'd like to make my text bold, and I'd like to center my text. I click away. That looks quite nice. So let's say I want to copy that formatting onto my departments. I don't have to redo everything. I simply click on a cell that I like, click on the Format Painter, and highlight the cells that I want to change. There we go. That looks good. But I don't want it centered, so we'll just left align that. There we go. So we're already starting to look a bit better. Now I'd like to highlight my totals. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight my total row, and I'm going to add a border. I can add whatever kind of border I like. I'm just going to do a simple one, the top and double bottom border, and I want to make them bold. Okay, I'd like to also make my column totals bold. There we go. Right, it's already looking a lot better. Right, one thing I want to change immediately is you can see that the numbers look a bit odd. Okay, I've got different decimals and all sorts of weird stuff. So I'd like to change my numbers to look like accounting. So I'm going to click on my numbers here. I'm going to click on this number format here. You can see it's set to general, which means there is no formatting. And I'm going to select one of the tabs here that I like. So I'm going to go with accounting because that aligns my left and my right and adds the rand sign. You can also choose currency if you wish, but you can see the currency doesn't look as good for me. It doesn't align to the left. So I'm going to go back to my accountancy. There we go. Right. If for some reason you do this and you're displaying dollar signs instead of rand signs, which is a common problem, it is because your regional settings are incorrect. So I click on my Start button. I'm going to go to Settings. I'm going to go to Time and Language, click on Region, and here we have my regional format. Mine is set to English South Africa, which means I'm going to get rands and cents. If it's set to English United States, which is the default, you're going to get dollar signs. If it's English United Kingdom, you're going to get pound signs. So if it's incorrect, you need to change it in your regional settings. Alright, so we've shown you some basic formatting. I'd like to show you how quick it is to create a chart from this table. I'm simply going to highlight my data and simply press F11 on my keyboard. And bang, I get my chart. Click on this button here to change my chart type. And let's say I would like a line chart. There we go. Change it to a line. Now I've got a line chart. Okay. Right, we'll cover charts in more detail at a later stage. But for now, I've shown you basic formatting. You can see how much easier it is to read my data. For more advanced formatting options, you can see here on the bottom here, you've got these little arrows. If I click on here, it shows me my numbers, and it gives me more options. For example, creating a custom type. Alignment, I can change more alignments, I can change my text direction, which I can't do using my buttons. I can change my font, my border, and my fill. Protection just means nobody can change your cells. Okay, we will cover advanced formatting again in a later video. Here are some last minute tips. In this spreadsheet, you'll notice that department is cut off. You'll also notice that my numbers are hashes instead of numbers. This is because my column width is too small. There are a few ways you can change the column width. If I move my cursor between the columns, you'll see that it changes shape. If I hold my left mouse button and pull, it will automatically change the width of the column. I can also highlight the columns and simply double click between the columns, and this will automatically adjust it as well. I can also highlight the columns, right click, go to column width, and physically set a column width. I always find it's easier just to double click because it gives you the column width you need. On that note, you'll notice I use the right mouse button. The right mouse button brings up a table of options. So if I right click on a row, you'll see that I get row options. If I right click on a sheet, I get sheet options. If I right click on a ribbon, I'll get ribbon options. It's a nice, quick and easy way of doing things. In the same way that I can adjust my column width, I can also adjust my row width. If I want to undo something, I can simply click on the undo button and it'll go back. The other thing we can do is we can increase the size of the text as well as its font type. By highlighting the text, I can simply drop down and choose whatever size I wish. I can also use these buttons here to increase by one size and go down by one size. And here I can change my actual font type if I wish. assuming I want to match a Word document that I'm working with. Let's go back to the original one. There we go. Lastly, I'd like just to show you how you could format this as a table. I've just shown you how you can do it manually, but if you highlight the table and you simply click on the Format as Table button, it gives you a whole series of options that you can try. You find the table you like, you simply click on it, click on OK, and you have a table. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.